Parks and Recreation, the Baldwin Hills Conservancy, Mujeres de la Tierra, LA Audubon Society, the Sierra Club, Northeast Trees, the City of Los Angeles, Metro, Red Cross, the Baldwin Hills Administration, and those who would dare to engage in nonviolent direct action and think that they would get away with it without a response. Give them all a big round of applause, will you? As some of you may recall, the Baldwin Hills of the 1960s was a far different place than we see today. In 1963, as has been indicated, the first African Americans were elected to the Los Angeles City Council. In 1963, the LA Dodgers won the World Series. In 1963, the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. joined hundreds of thousands of Americans to march on Washington. In 1963, it was December 14th, the Baldwin Hills Dam failed, taking the lives of 5 human beings and damaging some 275 homes. It was a day of tragedy, but also a day where the true spirit and strength of Angelenos came forward. You've heard that a newly minted councilman by the name of Tom Bradley led an incredible disaster response, and we shall never, ever forget him. KTLA was the first on the scene, broadcasting aerial coverage for the first time, and thereby informing thousands of Angelenos of the state of the events. Residents, families, and communities came together, literally wading through the water and the mud, and yet they resolved that they would rebuild, and rebuild they did. And then it was Supervisor Kenneth Hahn. He came up with a vision to turn a site of devastation into an oasis of hope. And by 1983, he opened what we now know to be this beautiful park that we all enjoy today. Give all those leaders a big round of applause for what they did to make this a reality. And so we look backwards with respect. We look backwards with a sense of regard for the strength of purpose and the focus of vision to bring us to where we are today. The Baldwin Hills of 2013 looks quite different than it did 50 years ago. We now have a beautiful park with sweeping vistas and walking paths that attract visitors from all corners of the county. And yet there's still work to be done. We continue to make improvements to make the park more attractive and accessible to its users. Next year we will upgrade all of the picnic shelters in the park. We'll begin construction on segments of what we call Park to Playa Trail that will run throughout the park and down Stocker, which will one day connect Baldwin Hills all the way to the Pacific Ocean. Yeah, that's a good thing. There'll be nothing like it in the whole county. And we will design the 2nd District's first nature center in Blair Hills. And we'll continue to offer high-quality programs to bring the community right here to this park. We will celebrate our assets. And so I just want to thank all those who made this event possible today, because it's an important event. It's a sobering reminder of the failure of the dam. It was a monumental event in Los Angeles history that changed the way we think about public safety and disaster preparedness. And yet 50 years later, it is only fitting that we come together to remember those who perished and recognize the significant community strength and civic engagement that have been realized in its aftermath. So may I say to you, thank you, and God bless you.